Hello, and welcome back to Bible Wits Bible Corner. So today we're going to continue with Galatians. Going to be in chapter 1 still. I'm going to read verses 6 through 10, starting with the English Standard Version. I am astonished that you are so quickly deserting him who called you in the grace of Christ and are turning to a different gospel. Not that there is another one, but there are some who trouble you and want to distort the gospel of Christ. But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary to the one we have preached to you, let him be accursed. As we have said before, so now I say again, if anyone is preaching to you a gospel contrary to the one you received, let him be accursed. For am I now seeking the approval of man or God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. Okay. New Century Version. God, by his grace through Christ, called you to become his people, so I am amazed that you are turning away so quickly and believing something different than the good news. Really, there is no other good news. But some people are confusing you. They want to change the good news of Christ. We preach to you the good news so if we ourselves or even an angel from heaven should preach to you something different, we should be judged guilty. I said this before, and now I say it again. You have already accepted the good news. If anyone is preaching something different to you, let that person be judged guilty. Do you think I am trying to make people accept me? No. God is the one I am trying to please. Am I trying to please people? If I still wanted to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. Okay, there is actually quite a bit in this passage here. I want to start off by talking about the confusion of the different gospels here. So there are some people that wanted, back then and even today, they want to try to confuse Christians. So honestly, what they do is they look for Christians that are either very new in their faith or they're kind of unsure, unsteady, so they're easy to manipulate. And what they do is they just put in a sliver here and a sliver there to confuse people as to what's really going on, what's really being taught, and eventually get them to turn away from the true gospel and turn towards a false doctrine. So, what God is telling Paul to write here, and what Paul had witnessed when he went to Galatia and is talking to them about here, is simply do not fall for these false teachers. Do not listen to them. Stay true to what you were taught. Stay true to the Christ, the one that died on the cross for you. That's what Paul is trying to get across to him here. And then he continues. He says that there's really no reason for him to please a man or man in general, because if he did try to please man, he wouldn't be a servant of Christ. Instead, he is trying to do God's will. And he is trying to convince them. And not necessarily convince, that might be the wrong word. He is trying to get them to understand that God's will is the only thing that we should do. We should not follow man. We should not follow anything that is false. Only God. So, there's probably a lot more to unpack in these short verses here. That's all I'm going to do in the time that I'm giving myself. I hope you find encouragement in this, and I hope you have a wonderful God-centered day. Bye.